Hello. I just want to welcome back all our loyal listeners. We are coming at you not live and absolutely edited. Today we are talking about dun 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 Dances with Dragons, a part of the Game of Thrones series, personal favorite of mine, book 5. Written by George R.R. Martin. My name is David Lee, and this is Plot Points and Pours. Sitting right next to me is...
Welcome back in. This is Luke. Really liked getting into this book. Watched all the shows, all the episodes. The book did not disappoint. It was just awesome. What'd you think there, Cam?
Yeah. Thanks, Luke. I'm Cam. Plot Points and Pours. We're back. Episode 5. I don't really want to talk about the book quite just yet. A lot of stuff to talk about. Let's start with the book review. Go over to the tech guy over there. Introduce himself. Give us a book cover review.
Hey, it's Vito here. Just going to do a quick cover review. As far as I got to say, this cover did not do his book justice by any means.
What was lacking?
I really think that there should have been at least a naked woman on the cover at some point.
Vito, this is a family show.
You want my honest opinion, or do you want? What do you want?
Your honest opinion.
We do.
That's what I got going for me. I think the cover really lacked a lot on this one. It didn't impress me.
No, it's
And
tough.
to anyone who didn't read the book yet, we get what you're saying.
Yeah,
if
you read the book, you'll understand.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
And you don't
It's
mean that,
between the
you don't mean it
covers.
in a perverted way.
No.
In an artistic way.
Nope. That's
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me cover for you.
That's
a
what
little bit there.
George R.R. Martin said, too, when he mentioned cock 54 times. It was an artistic cock.
Did you count how many times it was?
It's well documented, I thought.
This is a 1,500-page book. I think you're underselling the amount of cock in the book. But yeah, I get what Vito's saying. It's more of like a Mona Lisa thing in the Louvre. You know, it's respectable. I get it.
Yes.
But, so Vito, in a rating, what would you rate this book's cover?
A 3.
Oof.
Yeah.
God, that's almost like personal vendetta territory.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just it doesn't do it justice.
He's more of
They could have done better on the cover.
He's more of a Lord of the Rings guy. I got it.
I'm not saying the book was bad, but they could have done better with the cover.
It's kind of like we're looking for more from the cover, just like we were looking for more.
Explain the background of the book. That's why. The cover,
we were looking for more from the last series, the last season of the HBO series. I think the ending was kind of whack.
Yeah.
It's also kind of like how in the book,
Sopranos.
there's a lot of key plots in here that they left out of the series.
That's true.
You know,
that is true.
I believe his name is Aegon. Wasn't mentioned at all in the HBO series.
That's not true.
And it's kind of like how Dean Wade is being left out of the Cavs playoff series.
Yeah,
I
we
can't believe
we
that.
need him. We need,
And he's not
him.
playing tonight, is he?
No.
Him or
He's been
Jared
a
Allen.
ghost almost as much as everyone other than Donovan Mitchell has been in this playoff series.
Dean Wade?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he's not playing.
Well, obviously.
Bang.
It's
Mobley's
kind of
there.
Let's go, baby. 1 point game.
That's kind of the
2
joke
point,
there.
Luke.
But
2
yeah.
point. I forgot dunks are 2-pointers.
Feels like 4.
With this team, yeah, it should be. But
We want to talk about the game for a second real quick?
well, the current game that's on in the
Yeah.
background that we cannot get sued for playing, we checked.
We did. We know lawyers, a few.
tie ball game.
Jeez, oh man. Okay, yeah, let's talk about the first game, guys.
Let's talk about that real quick right there. Look who's having a great game to start so far. Evan Mobley, 4 for 5, 8 points.
And if you watched the pregame show,
Yes.
that was a lock, right? Was
Yep.
that your lock, Cam?
I said we need to run it through Mobley.
Yeah.
That's true.
We
So
need the 20-20 out of him.
I think he still needs a couple of threes, but I'm not expecting much.
So I want to ask you guys something here real quick while we're on the topic of this. I feel watching the playoffs as a whole, officiating's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree? Let me get that first.
I don't know if it's like Homer blood kind of thing.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. It's
No, I know,
all
I
over the
know.
place.
But I'm even like the last series, I did feel like it was one-sided favoring Orlando. But and it felt like it was definitely like, oh, we're gonna let them play. but I don't know if it just didn't feel like it went both ways. But I don't know if that's
For sure, in that
Homer,
series, that's how I felt.
Kinda, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but I was the top intramural official
You were a ref,
for
yeah.
Premier
You were?
League basketball.
Wow.
At Ohio State. And, they had us train with real high school officials. So I look at this stuff through a different perspective normally.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things these refs are having a hard time getting accustomed to is just the sheer physicality of a playoff game versus a normal NBA game where people really don't care.
Yeah.
And these guys weren't prepared. There's no doubt about it. You look at these games, and I think
It's a great point, actually, yeah.
leads to the inconsistency. They're not ready for that physicality. They don't know what's a foul and what's not because it's kind of it looks like the Cavs Orlando game to me looked like holding in the NFL. You could call something
Yeah,
every play.
every time.
Yeah, that's true.
Every single play, but then like where do you draw the line?
So what? Yeah, what
And
comes?
they only call when they want.
Yeah.
So- So I guess like that is a really good point. I think it's a really good comparison too to holding. It comes down to, I guess, when do you think that it's like what's that line between like too much officiating and they're like dictating the outcome of the game, or letting the play and letting like egregious fouls go through, and then you're as a fan you're kind of pissed off either way.
I agree, and I think it has definitely been inconsistent, and that's what we're looking for. We want to see physicality, but we also want to see a fair game.
Yeah,
So
it's fair.
Cavs up. Is that
Cavs
what we're
up.
talking
Cavs
about?
up.
Cavs
Yeah.
up.
The ball.
Karis LeVert's playing out of his mind right now too.
That was another key.
He's had a couple of dunks, like massive dunks down the lane, and then a few. Yep, there's number 2 for him.
With the
Oh, let's go.
with the officiating though, Orlando, I agree with what you're saying wholeheartedly. Like it seems so lopsided against us. If we breathed on Orlando wrong, we're gonna foul. They could do whatever the hell they wanted. I don't even care about that because we won that series. The Knicks Pacers series, it's only 2 games in so far as we're recording this, has been so fun to watch. Definitely game 1, probably game 2. I feel like came down to a bad call.
Yep.
Just awesome players playing out of their minds, playing an awesome basketball game, and one dude with the whistle has basically dictated the games.
Can I ask you guys a question? Actually, so of the teams that are left in the second round of the playoffs, do you think the Cavs are the weakest team
Yeah. But what I
Out
was
of every
saying,
team left,
of every team left?
the 4 in the
Pacers, I would
East,
say are.
You think the Pacers are a worse team than the Cavs?
I take the Cavs over the Pacers. Cavs up by 9.
Okay.
Kidding though. Wait, yeah. What the fuck?
I just feel like at least in that series, they've taken the ball out of the Stars' hands, and the refs have dictated the game.
That's right. Did you guys see? Indiana filed a report with 78 different instances they
said
thought
it was-
should have went the other way.
They said it was
really?
just every foul from the game. They did
Oh,
it just
okay.
to be
Every single one they questioned.
every single
and
foul,
see,
they
this is
sent
what I'm
it in.
saying. It goes back to the refs not being clear on what's a foul and what's not with the NBA.
But they said they
playoff
did it kind
basketball.
of
They
just
had
to be
no
like
idea.
they did it just to be like a prick.
And
I
like,
think-
the line's constantly moving in their defense, like what's a foul and what's not,
Yeah.
and what we're going to call and what not, especially with the evolution of the 3-point game. But I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's tough. Like I said, John, it is like one of those fine line kind of things where it really takes away the feel of a game if you are officiating too hard. But at the same time, if you're completely hands off, I don't know, that doesn't feel right either. So
I feel like when it gets into playoffs, at least like the second half of game, it should be very hands off unless somebody's like getting killed, and it's like, okay, you got to call that.
Yeah.
But there's so many like they do that for like 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden the dude just moves his hips slightly when he's setting a pick or something. Like,
Yeah.
nope, moving screen,
I know,
game
yeah.
over.
yeah, moving screens are I don't know, man. That is. I feel like that's when like
Half the
crazy
time
bad.
they're throwing a full out like block, hands up, everything.
Yeah,
They don't
and then-
call it, and then other time they kind of just
Yep.
take a couple steps. And
I'm
boom.
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On this topic, real quick, one thing that I've kind of surmised myself and maybe made a little bit of like a conspiracy theory in my own mind is, especially after that last series, When you watch JB Bickerstaff on the sidelines,
Yep.
do you ever see him not just chewing a ref out? He's constantly, I feel like, just constantly bitching. Whether he's right or not, he's always just chewing a ref out.
It kind of seems like that, at least he feels that's his number one job.
Yes.
Right?
Do you? I feel like he does this more than any other coach. Then watching the Orlando game, I'm thinking, dude, what if it's a known thing with these refs? JB Bickerstaff, all he does is bitch about.
And we get fucked
And they said,
because
you know what? Screw him. Like, let's not call anything for the Cavs, and let's call a good game the other way. I don't know. It's just a dumb. Like I said, I think it's a conspiracy theory in my mind.
I think well, let's take mindset wise. You're JB. You know you're on the hot seat. To be honest, you're probably getting fired this year if they lose against the Celtics.
They don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
yeah. Like you said.
So wouldn't you want to fight or do as much as you can as a coach to try to like keep your job?
I would say
and-
up until a few games ago, I've liked it. Like, get into them, but like recently, like, dude, stop. Like every time the camera pans to you, you're just like, yapping at him. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Gotta back
I
off.
get it. I don't know that I'm like I would jump on the it's effing over the Cavs, but I could be completely wrong. You could be completely right. These refs have personalities too.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was going to say. Going back to seeing it through the lens of a referee, these are people. Like, no matter how professional they are, at the end of the day, they do think like a normal human being. If this is a person dissing him the whole game, it's going to be like, I'm not going to listen to you.
Hell,
Why
right,
should I listen to
absolutely.
you?
And in favor of your theories too, or your theory too, Luke, is we know, like factually, refs call different for different players.
Yeah.
Like if you are a LeBron, you're more likely to get a
Getting
call than a Sam Merrill or something like that.
all those refs are thinking when JB's bitch at him is.
There it is. There's the button.
Thanks,
That's it.
Vito. So back to the book real quick. I've heard a lot from Dave about how much he loves this book, and I want to hear a little bit about just why. Because I started to allude to a little bit of what I thought about the book. All I could think about is South Park renditions.
Yeah, I mean that song "Wiener Wiener" is a really good song. It's like there's no denying that.
lyrically.
Now, personally, I am ready to dive in, like deep dive into. I would go chapter by chapter in this book. I really do like it. But before we get into that, I think something that was big in last episode we need to talk about is, hey, we just went through a whole NFL draft, guys.
Yep.
Like, let's get that out of the way, all right? Because I'm sure our listeners are dying to get in this book, but that's something we need to talk about before.
Agreed. I like that.
So where do you guys want to start? We want to talk about the QBs that were picked first. We can talk about Caleb Williams going first. We can talk about the Browns picks, because honestly, we can bust those out and how you think the Browns did.
Let's stick with the Browns, I think.
Yeah.
So I've done my fair share of reading on the subject. I think a lot of experts, Mel Kiper included, think the Browns reached on a few, if not all of the picks.
Okay. So
I've had my own look at it. I think we did pretty good. I think if you go back to episode 4 and talk about and look at what we talked about, they did exactly what we wanted them to.
Yeah. Not Dave, but
Yeah, second round.
Without getting too much into it and revealing exactly how I feel. Let's
Second
hear
round,
from
I
you
wanted
guys.
them to
What do
take
you
a
think?
guard, or I wanted them to take a lineman. Third round, they took a guard, so I'm happy with that.
well, I think we all said, except Dave, maybe, I don't know, but we wanted defensive, we want D line, and we want
Yeah.
O line. That was our first two picks,
two
correct?
picks, yep.
So
I think the most
Cool with that.
in this draft, which is like way out of the norm and honestly pretty refreshing, is you're picking backups, right? Or you're hoping these guys develop into something, maybe even this season that could replace some of the older guys and become starters. So I didn't hate any of the picks. I can see why, like on a draft board, like the Browns, they only had a C level draft. But it's like at the end of the day, what do we really need?
Yeah.
I mean, even at wide receiver, they did address that in free agency. So it's like, I
In the
can't be
fifth
too
round.
mad.
And their fifth round
Yeah,
pick
you're
was-
right. They did. Yeah, and, but
That's what we talked about. Fifth
yeah.
round with the receiver, you never know. I mean,
could-
these guys
yeah.
all have speed.
you could have a
Honestly,
hit on
DPJ.
one of them.
if
Like,
you're not
yeah,
picking
worth
until
it.
the middle of the second, just pick in the fifth. Like big deal,
Yeah.
whatever.
So I know we didn't get Sweat, but we did get Michael Hall. How do you guys feel about him?
I like that he's probably going to be utilized as a probably not an every down lineman, but he gets at the quarterback really well.
Yep.
which is good. I mean, I like our pass rush. I like Myles Garrett. I think it might help Zadarius Smith get to the quarterback a little more. I don't think it's a bad pick at all.
That's interesting, and I'm glad you brought that up, Dave, because he definitely is a pass rushing tackle.
Yeah.
Do we have what we need to stop the run?
We got a lot of pass rushers, right?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, that's the main guys are all pass rushers.
It
Names
kind of
you
goes
know.
back to, I mean, maybe that's all we need.
This is a passing league, though,
It's
right?
a passing
I mean,
league.
It's fair.
Running back has been devalued. They proved to me in this last draft that linebackers are now devalued. I don't think it was a good draft for linebackers at all, but there wasn't one picked in the first round. I don't even think the first 2 rounds, to be honest.
But I would
Really?
say this, Cam, that something that you're overlooking with the Browns defense is we have a very special player at linebacker. JOK is a beast.
He's a modern day. He's the definition of what you want at a linebacker
Exactly.
in a modern day NFL.
So maybe you didn't have to reach on a linebacker that you didn't love. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I'm
he'll
still
help you
thinking,
pick up the slack
I
at run.
was still thinking of a linebacker in NFL terms from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Where we need to stop Jamal Charles or some big dude or even like
As a-
Mike Allstott from 20 years ago.
As
know?
a friend of mine likes to say, sometimes you just need a dickhead up the middle. And that's that. I think that's what you're thinking of.
who's a friend? Give him a shout out.
I can't. I don't want to say okay.
Obviously, it's Alec.
Well, what do you guys think about the kid we did get from Mississippi State then at linebacker?
I don't know much about him. I guess we'll see.
So I heard they think he could be a special team star.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Based on how linebackers are being valued, I think, what did we get him in the 6th round?
Yeah, 6th round.
Yes.
So, honestly, he comes out as a third linebacker, possibly. He has a chance to get some real playing time at defense, I would think.
Okay.
You're taking a flyer on these guys anyway, so I mean, you know,
It's the perfect spot, too, at that point, yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Might as well, yeah.
I don't hate the draft at all. I think we did what we had to do. I do like showing up our line and investing in the future. I think linemen are insanely valuable in the NFL. You got to protect that quarterback, or you
Both
have to get to
sides,
the
yes,
quarterback.
yeah.
You know, so I don't hate it.
I agree. I can't wait to get down to the stadium and drink some RC Cola and watch these young guys
Let's
get
go.
after it.
You might be doing it in Brook Park soon.
Hey, that's a different
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
That's
we
a
won't-
lot to discuss.
we won't get into
We're not
that.
diving into that.
Yeah.
Not to get into this too deep, but what did you guys feel about the quarterbacks period that got drafted? Did you feel confident with where you picked last episode? Or?
So, a couple of us had Michael Penix high on the board.
Yeah.
When did he end up going?
Michael
Six.
Penix was probably the controversy of the draft.
Yeah. What did he?
He went 8th to Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
with
yeah,
Kirk
with
Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. Yeah.
That was a scratch.
That's wild.
A head
Yeah.
scratching
They say
pick.
Kirk Cousins had no idea about it, right?
Yeah.
They said they called him right before it or something, right?
Hey, bro, we're picking
Yeah.
this guy.
How much did they pay him? Like $100 million before.
3 years,
100
100 or
Total
2 years,
bro moment.
100
It
million or
was a
something.
bro moment.
Total, bro.
Whatever.
You know, I think it could pay. It could pay off in the long run. You know, you never know.
JJ McCarthy to the Vikings. I think that was big.
That was big.
So we'll see.
Otherwise,
In
I don't
terms
think.
of the
Yeah.
quarterbacks, it was kind of how we talked about it.
Yeah. All right. Cool. We're being signaled to go to commercial. One thing I
my
wanted.
God,
One thing I
already?
wanted to say real quick though, that I meant to say when we were talking about the Cavs Celtics. Do you guys hate Boston accents? Do you think it's the worst accent in the entire face of the freaking earth?
It ain't great. It ain't great because you never meet like someone like I think like there is a certain type of dignity that comes with like a British accent or maybe even like like a good singing quality that comes with like a southern accent. I mean, you get that Boston accent.
There's what's good
It's
about it.
ugly. It's just
Nothing,
parking
yeah.
a car, going out and yeah.
I want to
think
hear
great.
from the listeners how you guys feel about the Cleveland accents that we're putting on the mic, because you have to hear us an hour at a time
Cleveland have an
sometimes.
accent?
Dude, oh yeah, I get it all the time.
I think you
Like,
guys listen to this and then compare it to some. We say some pretty crazy shit.
I
on
watch
this.
the news and I'm like, this guy talks like I do. So
I bring it up though because my sister-in-law sent me this video of this donut shop in Boston feuding with Brunuts, here locally.
Oh no way!
And the Brunuts lady's like talking normal like we talk, and the lady from Boston is a normal looking lady. She's like, we're here, must have Boston, Mass.
this motherfucker.
Yeah, literally. They can't say Massachusetts, they say Mass. I'm like, oh, it's just, I hate it.
Yeah.
The one thing I've noticed when watching our own video and watching it with Ryan and Vito and breaking down
Ryan and Vito? That's
Vito,
crazy.
breaking down the clips. We really go the soft A. We almost make a hard A.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
But it's especially Vito and I. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people ask us, are you guys from
Cameron.
New Jersey? And then like, no, we're from Cleveland. Like,
Cameron,
okay, yeah,
what
that
do
makes
you have
sense.
to say?
This is enlightening. I didn't know.
I get a lot.
Dave too. No, if you go back and look at the tape, Dave too. Yep.
Really?
Cameron Gearing.
Well, with that being said, let's take a quick commercial. Hang with us.
Tired of the same old book takes and mass-produced suds? Us too. That's why we created Plot Points and Pours, the podcast for your love for local brews meets your passion for great books. Every week, we crack open a can from a different local brewery and dive deep into books. Discover hidden gems for your area's craft beer scene while we dissect plots, analyze points, and predict the next big author. Tune in to Plot Points and Pours and find out. We'll have you itching for your next book review and savoring the flavor of your hometown. Subscribe to Plot Points and Pours wherever you listen to podcasts. And let's get literary.
All right, welcome back, everybody, from that quick commercial break with not the same old sponsor. I think that was somebody different this time.
Oh, actually, no, it was the same one.
Oh, okay.
He
So
doesn't usually tell us who the sponsors are.
yeah, we don't know until the last minute.
I assume it was Stinky Pete's.
Anyway, I think we talked about it at the get-go that I think we are all huge fans of the Game of Thrones HBO series. I know I was waiting for the last couple episodes to come out, the last season. I was on the edge of my seat every day waiting Sunday night. So reading this book, I thought it was real interesting. Another thing they left out of the series was that Martell kid going over to try to find Daenerys. Felt like to me a bit of an unsung hero, so to speak. So I don't know what else.
Yeah, speaking of unsung heroes, did you guys see David Fry?
Man, too bad David Fry. Yeah,
Unsung hero. A great point.
it's true. I guess that brings up the Guardians. I mean, it is honestly insane. So they're 11 games up over 500. Which is
they are?
yeah, they're
And dude,
11
just like-
games over 500.
On paper, no business being there.
But not only that, like if you look at their like on base percentage, their rotation with their starting rotation when it comes to their starting pitchers, it just doesn't make sense that they're doing this well. But they're finding clutch hitters.
awesome.
Like their bullpen is stepping up. Like they're doing the little things, right?
Dude,
like,
we're
and not only that, they're really good base runners.
We're
really good.
a starting pitching franchise in the past 20 years, maybe. Our starting pitching is probably the worst ever this year.
Yep.
And it's the best year we've ever had so far, like best start we've had. It's just wild. And like on paper, our hitters shouldn't be much of anything.
Who is our ace? I don't think we have one.
Nope.
Which is crazy.
It's kind of weird looking at it because if you look at it on paper, you would think we're so bad, but we're not. We're good. So then you look at it and like, these guys are good. So then where's our weakness?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like because they're all so bad and then we end up still being good. What is the weak spot?
I think-
we don't really have one.
I don't know if they're-
Maybe it's the pitching,
yeah.
because of the injuries, and that's it.
The lineup will probably catch up to us
Yeah.
eventually. I'm not
see,
saying,
dude.
yeah, I don't know. Like I could be completely wrong. For sure, don't tap on it. It messes with the mics.
Another big blow though again today. Gavin Williams 60-day IL.
That is
Really?
tough.
Yeah.
I heard he had
That
a
is so
good
tough.
start in the minors too. That's
Something
that
must have
sucks.
happened again. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got Kyle Manzardo up.
Yeah.
And,
that's
and he
exciting
had his
news.
first hit yesterday, which isn't nothing.
Typical
you know?
Guardian shit though, year after year, next man up. I mean, I feel like we're constantly dealt what seemed to be major blows, and it's just like it's okay. We'll
Not
work it out.
hitters, though.
And I always thought it
somehow
was
they
Tito.
battle
I always
through it.
thought it was Tito, but I think it's just a franchise thing. It seems like this year.
Well, I don't know. They're doing better now.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
So do you think it is a Tito thing?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not.
I
I
don't
always
think
thought
so
it was.
either,
I always
yeah.
thought like this guy figures it out, but
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think they've exceeded expectations. I thought it was going to be a down year, but they've been really exciting to watch. We've been to a couple
so
games
fun.
ourselves.
Oh, we're all season ticket holders.
We are season ticket
yeah,
holders, which is
yep.
we're the cheap boy season
I
ticket holders.
haven't-
But I mean, you know,
I
we
haven't
ball
sat
out.
on the couch in a long time and watched the Indians game like I can remember.
But
I probably
the
watched
Guardians.
5 or 6 of them this year. Just like yeah,
Always
I'm gonna
Indians.
put them on TV and watch them. Actually, you know,
No, I agree.
it's
I think
actually
they're extremely-
exciting to watch.
I'm watching
They are. It's a
80% of
great
the
team.
time. Yeah.
The game of baseball, though, is more entertaining now. Like,
Dude, the shit they did with the clocks. and
yeah,
everything.
I think it moves
Yeah,
faster.
it did-
It's just
it was a good
it's
movie.
more entertaining. And not only that, like
know-
if you're a like just a person in an area that has a baseball team, if you want to go down for like a couple innings, I feel like it's way more accessible.
Yep.
Like, and I guess I can only speak for Cleveland, but it just seems like it's a much more like
100%.
casual fan.
Very casual.
Yeah, like friendly area.
Yeah, I know there is the old school perspective that
Sure.
the game changing the way it is not for the better. Like you have these reviews that are changing the game and stuff like that, and the pitch clock could be leading to injuries, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I can't argue with the end product.
Give it
like
10
the game
years.
they're putting out is 100%.
Yeah, I completely agree.
easier to watch.
It's much more exciting.
10
much
years,
more.
nobody remembers any of that. Does the way
You're
baseball's
probably
played,
right.
you know? Like,
Yeah.
and
It
I think
is-
it'll be better for
Like-
the growth of it with the younger generations.
I think you
in terms of excitement, I feel like this is Omar Vizquel, Robbie Alomar walking out
Yeah.
onto the field, even though we don't have anybody like that.
Right?
There's no Jim Tomey. There's no Manny.
we're making those
I'm
guys,
just
though.
excited to watch this team.
I'm sure we can go like over this, and I'm sure it's been said 1,000 times. It's crazy though. Yeah, so I think when it comes to ownership of the Cleveland sports teams, when it comes to the Dolans, I view them as probably the worst owners in like of those teams that operate in Cleveland.
Like the three big teams.
Yeah, the three big teams. But it's purely based on the money they spend. I think they honestly always cry poor. I think they can do way more than they actually do in bringing in free agents, spending money, and bringing in talent into Cleveland. But here's the but. They have the best front office of the
Maybe in
big
pro sports.
and I say
Period.
that like it honestly amazes me that every year, whether it be the Indians or the Guardians, we're always competitive. And it always seemed like the front office had one arm tied behind their back because they had to bring those damn Dolans who do not spend any freaking money on this team. And it honestly is just a testament to the talent they bring in.
They're almost gone though, right?
That's what I wanted to say about the
Almost,
Dolans,
yeah,
though. I
almost.
mean, like you could talk about the spending, you could talk about what this and that, but at the end of the day, look at the results. The results are the team is making a playoff run, if not trying to make to make a
but
playoff
no
run
fa- but-
every single season.
But no
Every
World
single
Series.
one.
But no World Series.
They've been there
But
though.
That's luck, like at that
in
point.
2016.
Mr. R.C.
Yeah.
Cola spending everything he can,
Yeah.
and how close have we been to a Super Bowl?
Exactly.
Dude, it annoys
Well,
me
I don't
too.
think it's comparable. You know what I mean? I agree with that.
For years, it's drove me nuts. The same thing you're saying, but in recent times, I've kind of starting to like get it hip with not spending money and just being
right.
frugal, because it's kind of like only in baseball does this make sense, because the money in baseball is nuts. Like if you spend a little bit of money, fine, but you're not keeping up with the Yankees, the Dodgers, those teams. I kind of love when you're scrappy and spend a tenth of what they spend at the end of the year. You're like, you didn't make the playoffs. We got the third best record in baseball. Kiss my ass. Like, we made shit happen. I kind of get off on being the little, like the small market team. And I know, and also they could spend more money. They could probably make it a little closer. Yes. But I kind of like being the underdog
Obviously,
in baseball, because
yeah.
you're never going to be the top dog.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm
so much more.
Only in
They
baseball,
figured out it's
no
so much
cap.
better to
Listen,
invest in a
let
front
me make
office.
let me make 2 more points to this. Okay. One, you have such a good front office. Do you think they're going to be hindered by the ability to spend more money?
Honestly, maybe if it's like spend whatever you want, they don't think so smart about the hidden gems that are all over
I
the place.
just don't think
It's
that would
kind of-
happen. But I also think about our team in general, the talent and development. We're just a farm team. We're just a major league farm team.
But the
for
farm
bigger
team
teams.
for the Yankees, who like in the past 10 years,
What do
we're
they do with
better
the
than them.
talent?
Exactly. Like,
I know,
here's
I
the
mean, we
thing.
got our asses kicked
should
by
we
them
kept
last year.
Lindor? Should we paid Lindor a ton of money?
No, I think it's
Like,
fair. I think it's fair to state that the obvious that, hey, you know what? In baseball, nobody deserves a $500 million 10-year
But
contract.
the guys are getting it, and like
They
if you
are
want to
getting
keep up
it.
with the
that's
Joneses,
the thing, though.
that's what you got to
If
do.
we had this insane, not an insane payroll, say a medium payroll, you pay one guy that. Jose doesn't take the discount he takes. Jimenez doesn't take the discount he
So
takes.
true. Like,
all
if-
these
if-
other guys don't take
you
that,
would've
and then
paid
you're
Lindor
screwed. And then you have just that
Top
one guy.
money, J-Ram's not saying, okay, I'll take a discount.
but that's the problem. In baseball, nobody's saying you can't spend more. So you're like, oh,
But I'm
okay.
saying most owners, there's 5 teams that spend this astronomical money. The other teams have one player that makes a ton of money, and then they have 7 other
you
players.
said mid-level,
Right.
And then there's a few teams at the bottom, like us, the A's, whoever, that
Right.
don't spend any money. It's kind of cool being one of those teams that don't spend any money, but
and
you're
being
always
good
relevant.
still, yeah.
I mean, it's
This is-
cool, but I also, guys, I want a World Series. I want to win. Like, I want to do what
But those teams that are doing that aren't winning the World Series either.
This is the
I
lens-
disagree.
I
I
wanna-
think
Who
you're
is? The Dodgers. That's the only team
I
that
think
did.
you're more likely to win when you spend. I'm
don't-
sorry.
I don't know
You're
if that's
way-
valid.
Yeah,
I want to look
disagree.
at this through the lens of a different sport. Let's bring it to golf. I want to make an analogy to golf, okay?
I want to hear this.
You have a couple really good shots. You're sitting in a fairway after a 250-yard drive. You just had a couple good shots. You're like, oh, I see the bunker right there in front of the pin. Pin's tucked away, but I just had a couple really good shots. You know what I'm going to do? Because I have all this talent. I have all this right in front of me. I'm going to go right at the pin. You know what happens when you do that? You lose focus. Ball goes in the bunker. You get a 6 when you could have had a 3 if you would have
Yeah.
just played the safe
Cam,
shot.
you're not a layup guy though, so I don't know why you're making this argument.
And I'm glad you said that, Dave.
He's missing a
because
layup right now.
We've played golf the past 2 weeks. Dave is the king of 3-wood out of the rough. 50 yards.
How's that been going?
That's
man?
a generous 50 yards, too.
But to be honest, that's not fair. You can't like compare me to because my form isn't good. Like if you're talking about like someone who's like actually like really good at golf, yeah, 3-wood out of the rough probably isn't the worst idea.
But I think that's the whole point, though, is when you go big or go home, the only other option is go home.
Okay, so what
The
did you
tribe
guys,
are always going in and have a shot.
what did you guys think about the Donovan Mitchell trade when it happened?
I love
You guys,
that.
great, awesome. That's go big or go home. What did you guys
Dude,
think
I'm
about?
saying
what
baseball
did
is
you
a
guys-
separate entity,
Yeah,
though. Baseball
exactly.
is different
There's
than
no
any
cap
other
in
sport.
baseball.
And you can
Basketball has a
spend-
cap.
But you're not. You're
Every
talking
team
about
is right
You're
there.
not talking about a poor owner. Like they are. The Dolans are one of the richest owners in baseball.
I don't think that's true.
That
I
is
looked that up last
100%
time when you said that, and it's not true. Just like you
Hey,
said,
okay,
Jimmy
hold
Haslam's
on.
No,
the
all
third.
right, look it
You
up.
said Jimmy Haslam's the third richest owner. He's like 14th in the
No,
NFL.
he is super.
No, he
freaking
is
rich.
not.
All right, bring it up. Bring it up. Bring it up. All the numbers. Bring
right.
up net worth. Like the Dolans are very rich. It's stupid. This is a dumb
I
argument.
want to come back to one thing. Vito, don't do your thing there. Cameron, you brought up golf.
Yes.
what was it, last night? Yeah, last night. I did not have the pleasure of going, but you three gentlemen all went golfing together.
We did. We were battling.
And let's hear about this round.
We didn't.
Dave's second day out with the
We didn't
custom
even
fit
talk
driver.
about this yet, Dave.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He's
The
not,
new.
Vito, just leave
Not
it alone.
even in the
Vito,
top
leave it
10.
alone.
Who?
Leave it alone. Leave it
Jimmy
alone.
Haslam.
Leave it alone.
All right, where's Dolan?
The new hardware. Let's hear about your experience.
All right. This is long awaited. I totally forgot about this.
oh,
honestly.
yeah, I did too.
Yeah,
Me
wasn't
too.
supposed to be on the. We can put this in things I got wrong, but I didn't get this wrong. I know Dolan's one of the richest guys.
Leave it alone.
All right. So, all right.
I want to hear about this tailor-made driver. Literally tailor fucking made.
Okay.
The fitting. This is something. This
Yeah.
is experience that none of us have had. We have
I
practiced
wish we
golf.
could have videoed this.
Teach me. I want to learn.
We have practiced golf for pretty much all of our young adult
Sorry.
lives, but we've never had any proper training. I think I can say that with confidence that none of us here have had any proper training or lessons. So I do have to applaud Dave to going and trying to, really dig into the data and figure out what's going on
talk to
and
anybody
get
who knows.
better about it.
Anybody knows anything about golf? What do they say? Take lessons. Go learn.
Yep.
Like
Per day.
everything.
Not even
is
lessons. Like it just
figure it out off the course.
like there's people who do this for a living, and for some reason I'm one of those people who are like, you know what? I know better than those
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, but I think
And I applaud Dave for not even lessons, just trying to dig into it more. And I want to hear more about it. Like, it's really interesting to me.
I think there is a difference though. Whereas, like, all right, little background. Like, I'm the only person in my family that golfs. I picked it up like on my own in college. Like, it was something that like I saw my friends doing, looked cool, wanted to do it, fell in love with it. I absolutely love with it. I love the.
Are we playing tomorrow, by the way?
I'm absolutely down. You don't have to twist my arm.
Let me check with my wife.
Can we do 18, Luke?
Let me check with the old lady here.
But regardless, it is
Probably play 9.
something that I cannot recommend enough outside of the sport itself, which is extremely difficult. The atmosphere behind golf with your friends it's unbeatable.
Yeah.
it's such a good time.
When you're like beyond, you're not playing competitive sports. Like it's what you do.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
You know,
And it's
just-
frustrating. Like, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, when you go out on a beautiful day, drinking a couple beers with your friends, it's really this like it's unmatched.
Yeah.
Like
Was it awkward?
awkward,
Like getting
The-
that lesson or whatever?
Oh, okay,
Like,
yeah, yeah. So, all right. So let me break this down for you. So,
So he was telling us the why. Now let's get into
yeah. The what? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, all right. Short answer to why I was there. Driver broke, hit a pure shot, like at least 350, and it snapped. My club snapped.
Fucking snapped.
Yeah. So,
love bashing them, but it's true.
Cameron had actually a great idea and recommended me a place that we're not sponsored by, so I'm not going to mention their name, to go and get a club fitting, which I looked up and the prices really weren't that unreasonable.
And in the process, I feel like subliminally said, "Luke, you're an idiot for buying a driver off the rack." You're probably right, but
No, because when Luke sent me a couple drivers that he thought would be like, good options in my price range, I didn't think it was that crazy. But when Cam threw it out there, it was almost like
a little bit more, right? Not much more.
I kind of just want to do this for the experience.
Yeah.
And all right.
Based on what you tell me here, I'm going to say right off the gate, I have irons that I love. I love my irons. But then everything else, I have no idea what my gaps are. I
sure.
feel like I should probably get fitted for that.
It is-
what should I do 3-wood? What should I do driver? Should I play this degree wedge? Should I do...
And should you just
I
get
don't know.
rid of the 3-wood?
Exactly. That's a debate.
Yeah.
And I want to hear from the
And,
experts.
and lately,
That's what I was doing
Yeah.
yesterday. I was hitting my 5-iron instead of the 3-wood, and it might have went 15 yards less. And
Oh,
but
yeah.
I was
I had the
accurate.
same
I was
thing yesterday.
accurate with
wait,
it, yeah.
5-iron to 3-wood? That might be a personal problem then.
I was hitting,
yeah.
it's
I
always
was hitting
a
my
personal
5-iron
problem.
like a 215
But
yesterday.
he was also using his 3-wood off the tee.
Yeah, but they were beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. And then you switched to your driver and you were driving it
Even better.
crazy.
Well, the one I could not drive on, then I used my 3-wood.
It's just like
There was a creek that you went into.
yeah, but I almost outdrove the
Yeah,
creek.
but you didn't.
225, the big tree.
All right, let's hear the real deal.
So before
we
I'm
know
so-
everybody knows we love golf. Let's hear about
Okay,
this.
okay. So I would say the experience of the getting fitted and stuff is unmatched. You feel like you kind of feel like a big shot.
You feel like a dog.
Yeah, you do. And it's like it's kind of like it's a little intoxicating. So you
Hell
go
yeah.
in, you go and see the best way I can put it.
That's awesome. I'm
you go
loving it.
into what? So for me, you go there. You say, hey, I'm checking in.
My lived experience.
They send you out. They give you free buckets of balls. You go in. You warm up a little bit.
So
on
they have
their
like a
personal-
range at this place.
They do have a range. Yeah. So I'm warming up with some of my clubs with the general public, the peasants, as I
GP.
would call them.
GP, yeah.
In this state of mind, the plebs. So I'm there for like probably 10 or 15 minutes waiting for my personal fitter to come across. Comes out,
Personal?
very nice guy. Yeah, I mean personal. Yeah, I had to book.
crazy.
Fucking
I had to
PG.
book a time zone. So he says, "Hey, let's get out of here." We go to my own booth,
Private room.
a private room. Yeah, he offers me drinks. I'm not even joking.
How many do you have to buy per hour?
No, none.
Two.
It's all
Two minimum.
free. It's all free.
2 drink minimum.
No, it's
You
not.
have to
it's
buy
not
him a
comedy
drink?
show. It's not a Mary Santora or a Bill Squire show. It's completely free. So you go there and then he asks you like, what club are you like going to get fitted for? Obviously, I needed a driver. So he brought out and he asked you your price range too. I'm not going to say my price range.
No, say it. I want to hear this.
Yeah,
When he
say it.
asked about your price range. What was it?
It was a number on the spectrum of all numbers.
Okay, but
He didn't
actually,
care
though-
about the price, is what he said.
But
Is that what you said,
really, what if you were like $100 to $200? Would they say
don't-
get lost?
Yeah, probably.
And if you said $1,000 to $2,000, would they be like, we don't have clubs like that?
Yeah, it was.
No, they'd be like, we got a sucker.
Because I feel like the number you probably put out there is what like drivers cost.
yeah.
Like you were probably
You knew- you
somewhere
knew
between
what to
$300 and
expect.
$600, and like well you're in luck. Every big name driver costs between that.
Yeah,
so
right.
You definitely couldn't go there expecting $100 driver.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Darling
Why would he
just
ask a
broke his
price
finger.
range when it's like drivers cost?
Because
drivers
some people
cost?
might be like more hard on like, hey, I can only afford a $300 driver, and they probably could
So you're giving him
accommodate
something
you.
used or like something off Amazon.
No. I think there are lower.
It's probably a
level-
couple-year-old club, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like
I didn't know.
something like
I guess that's why I'm asking. Can you could get fitted for something used?
definitely. There is a different range. So they brought me out a couple different drivers. I'd say 3, and we tested how many like the hits I took on each one of those drivers. They tested the distance. They tested the angle in which they hit, the carry, the speed in which I was swinging the club.
Yeah.
All that. They had numbers on all that. And then he would take the club back, make some adjustments, made some suggestions on my swing, and we came together and we settled on a club.
They give you like different grips or anything, or was it all the
You can
like?
you can go as customization like as you want. You get different colors on your grip.
No, like did they like a softer grip? Did they give you any options like that, or
Which is wild because you like let me talk for 2 seconds and I'll tell
But
you.
you're not
Just
saying
2
any of
seconds.
that.
That's all he
Yeah,
wants.
that's just 2 seconds, please.
He don't want 10 minutes straight.
he's
just
talking
2
about
seconds.
he's talking about colors.
Colors, grip size.
I love the grip on my irons. I might switch all my clubs to this grip. Anyway,
So yeah, you can get a bunch of different grips.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That's all I
No,
needed.
but did they give you different options? Like, did you swing your club with 3 different grips that you bought,
No,
or just
but
the
they-
grip that it came with?
I swang the stock grip, but you had options to get other grips.
If
So you
said,
don't know
"I
what
wanna
any of the other
switch
ones
to the
felt like.
threaded
That's what I'm-
grip,"
yeah, but he doesn't know what that felt like.
No, but the driver I went with felt right. So,
it didn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Didn't really
that's-
matter.
okay.
and honestly, that's also an upcharge too.
Personally, I'm.
Oh, really?
It is.
And that was out of the price range.
Do you think a thicker?
I didn't. You
I'm
were
gonna-
buying a club. I thought it might just be like, this club's a set price for.
Sorry.
Dude, we can't edit that sound out.
We don't need
It's okay.
to.
I'm gonna step in and say when I got my stock grip wedges,
Off the rack.
cheapest fucking grips you could ever imagine. Loved them. Absolutely loved them. Out of the box, best feel. I love that cheap rubber grip. It just sits in the hands great. Problem is, the reason why they're so cheap is that wears out
Dude,
right
they
away.
don't last.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right away.
Grips are grips. Day you own them. But a year later, 2 years later,
They dry.
That's what sucks. They
Yep.
But
dry
yeah,
right
you know
out.
when you go
Twist in your hand.
thicker on the grip, like to like a fatter
Oh, yeah.
grip,
Oh,
it
yeah.
affects like it affects which way you slice. Like so, let's just say I could be completely wrong on this, but a fatter grip might make you hit it more right. That kind of thing. It's just
Yeah, because it
Clubs
does affect
looser in
how,
your
it come-
hands or
how you
whatever.
come
Yeah.
through with the hands.
so it
for
kind of
sure.
it depends on like what your swing is, what you're comfortable with, and stuff like that.
Sure.
So when I was hitting the stock, whatever they had, I was doing a pretty straight shot. So I just went with that.
Absolutely.
Sounds like you're kind of hitting the ball like a thoroughbred, huh?
I don't think that it's exactly on a real golf course measured out to what I was hitting in the private room, but that's also probably a me thing and something I need to expand upon. In
Thoroughbred,
lessons.
though, it makes me think about something else. Like we're talking about,
Like 2-year-olds?
What of them might just happen the past weekend?
What?
Kentucky Derby.
Kentucky Derby's all 2-year-old horses.
He got your ass.
He got you.
Got you.
I don't know
bad,
what you
dog.
were thinking, David.
Yeah.
Put that hat down.
Get your head out,
Give me time out.
get your head out of the gutter.
2-year-old?
So that
was
That was
crazy.
fine.
That
Yeah.
was crazy.
Yeah, I honestly that threw me off there. I'm sorry, Vito.
I didn't think it was that bad. Sorry.
You're right. You're right. You
I
were
was
right on brand.
That was really good because I was like, "What the fuck?"
That's crazy. So, all right, but that I think that's a good topic. Thoroughbreds. What else does that make you think of, Vito?
2-year-olds.
The Derby. All
we
2-year-old
live right
horses running.
Oh,
Oh yeah, the Derby.
Speaking of that,
that was a big.
we had
weekend.
a great weekend of it.
It's
watching
true,
it.
it's true.
We were up at Kelly's Island
oh,
for
you two living up the life, huh?
Derby Day. Yeah, we took the boat up there. We were up there
You know,
hanging out.
it's nice that we're both single. So
What kind of boat
we-
you got?
What did you get? That's not true. Just say.
So
Can we edit that out, please?
She doesn't watch this shit.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
She
Number
watches
one
it more than you watch.
Megan.
That's fair.
So
You didn't even see the clip I had of you last time.
And not
Right.
your name.
Yeah, I did.
I said Bozo's dubbed over.
You did.
But,
I guess I didn't. See
all right,
that.
come on, let's pull
I
this
watched the
together
last
here.
episode.
And so we were up there at Kelly's Island. We took the boat up there. We were hanging out, drinking a few adult cocktails, and then
Yeah, Vito
There's
was
this-
nice enough to
there's a
invite me on his boat.
winery.
Heavy on the cock.
there's a winery on the opposite side of the bar. Everybody was
like
like,
George.
dude, they got these chicken races. You guys gotta go check them. We're like, what do you mean chicken races, you know?
Yeah.
So we took a golf cart. We were in a golf cart, went over there, a bunch of us. There was like 10 of us.
Neither of us were driving. Just
And
put that out there.
we were not.
Were they
and,
easy go?
we don't know. This thing sucked.
They
whatever
were
it was. It was just-
Cobweb.
This
You know
thing
that?
literally,
Yeah.
Dave walked next to it at one point. Darius got another 3, up by 11. Dave walked next to it at one point, and he was faster than the golf cart moving.
Yeah, it was crazy.
insane.
That's nuts.
And he's
And
slow.
we get up there, we're like, God, this place is dead. Nothing's happening here. Like, yeah, in an hour, there's chicken races. So some broads walking around with these chickens, like petting and shit. So we get a couple margaritas flowing, and the next thing you know, this place is mobbed. Dave's like, give me $20. I got to bet on these chickens.
Yeah, so essentially what happened was the real race was chicken racing. I didn't think it was, but honestly, I'm absolutely hooked. So, yeah,
So that's what the Derby's all about?
I think so. I honestly,
chicken.
I don't know what these people
At
are
least
talking
up
about.
there it is.
These damn horses.
Yeah.
The chicken was way more exciting. So I went up, threw down $10 on a chicken. I got this ticket. It says, I read it as 38 to 1 odds, which I thought was insane.
38 to
$10 on
1.
38 to 1. So it would have won $380 if I would have won. And I was sitting there like, how the fuck are they handicapping these chickens? Like, are these chickens like, of purebred? Are they like,
Right.
They want to
Is this one not even racing? They're just selling its numbers. Like it was.
Exactly.
Is
like-
this one a turkey?
It's great. There
Well,
was
one
a duck.
was a duck.
There was a duck. It's true. Like there, it is
The one
crazy
that
like
won was a Polish chicken, actually.
Yeah,
What
and
the
this thing.
hell?
I think it was
Yakshamash.
like named,
It was like this big. It was so small.
it was
so cute.
named like Thor or something like that.
no
It had, like-
American,
No, I don't remember.
whatever it was. It was dumb.
I
But it
sure-
paid him money. That's all that mattered.
So yeah,
Okay.
I guess
listening.
spoiler. I hit big. My
picked
chicken
the winner?
won. My chicken
No
won.
way, dude.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
nuts.
You need to say screw to slots. and
38
craps,
to
bro.
1 odds.
Saved it from the the chicken processing factory. That thing's a thoroughbred champion. So
I think I hit big when I bet Scotty Scheffler plus 350.
Let's go.
so I go in
38 to 1.
Let
think
him
I'm-
know.
I think I'm walking away $380 richer.
Yeah.
I walk up. Turns out that's not how they do it. I don't even know.
3.8 to 1.
It was just all the money they took in. Whoever had that chicken just split even.
The odds were bull.
Just
The odds
it was
were
just
bull.
like the proof. They wrote that number down
The
next to your
odds were
name.
the odds, but it had nothing to
Yeah,
do with
they
the end
wrote
of result.
that number was
I
just
don't think they were.
The odds
No,
were
I think
odds.
they were just putting
that number
shit
was
down.
just written down next to your name to prove
Writ
that you
down.
bought that ticket.
Yeah,
That's
I might
all
have.
it
Maybe
was.
I could have been like the 38th person that
Yeah,
bought a ticket.
So no, those were the odds how they saw it, but it had not. If you
I don't
as soon
think
as
it
you
was.
placed the bet, it shifted the odds because it's only that's how.
No, he picked
real
it out of the
Vegas
hat.
should do.
He picked it out of a hat.
Yeah, you put $10 and
He
you
didn't pick
the
that chicken.
chicken's
He just
name out of
picked.
the
Yeah,
hat.
he just shoved his hand in and grabbed that paper out.
I'm telling you, the odds were bullshit. Yeah.
Where the hell were you guys?
the-
This is
Exactly.
hell? Kelly's
yeah.
Island,
Yeah.
Ohio.
There's
We
just
were
a
on an
white
island.
tent with the chickens that raced around. This shit was wild. Dave was just running off at the mouth the whole time too.
All right, so this is nuts.
This you can't wrap your head around this shit. Like, let's try to wrap our head around this. What was the
So-
next book here? Are we gonna introduce
Well,
that?
we're saying real quick. Early summer, late spring, whatever you want to call this time. What's your review, real quick? The islands, cool, good. Do it again. Don't do it.
Oh, we'll
Wait.
definitely do it again. It wasn't crazy busy. It was,
Again
it
in
was
May or again in June?
Oh,
No,
yeah, like-
I would say avoid
no
spring.
other weekend up there. Maybe
Except
put
the Derby?
except for Memorial Day. That's May.
Okay.
But yeah, I wouldn't go up there.
But I would say Memorial Day is like summer.
Yeah, that's the start of summer.
Once you hit summer,
You can wear
like,
white.
Yeah,
you're
it's
good.
game on up there.
Especially for boaters, if you take your boat Memorial
Yeah.
Day, that's when you start the season.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I would say that weekend, it's not bad. You probably just want to leave once the Derby's over.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was really fun getting into that book.
Oh my
I
God,
loved
yeah.
getting your like. We went on and on about this thing.
I know.
And,
Well, we had a lot of rants about it.
You know what it is? It's like a 1,500-page book, and I think we knocked it out like in one episode.
we did. But yeah.
The one thing I want to talk about to wrap it up, I'm just really glad Stannis didn't prevail. I don't like that guy. Even in the book, don't like him.
Don't like them.
Well, to be honest, Cam, you don't know if Stannis did or did not. It's a cliffhanger, so you're kind of exposing yourself here. Did you read this book?
I'm not exposing anything. I know he didn't prevail because at the end of the book, they don't say anything. I saw the series.
Yeah, but the series isn't exactly lined up with what the books are doing.
Is there another book after this?
No, not yet.
Exactly.
He
Exactly.
It's George R. R. Martin sitting on his thumbs, not writing it, and that's a real. Where's Winds of Winter? Where is it, George R. R. Martin?
Well, that's why I love that clip from South Park where they're talking about wiener, 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 wiener.
It's a
They're
good
like,
song.
did you order the pizzas yet? And he said, the pizzas are coming. They're on their way. What pizzas did you want to order? Oh, you didn't even order the pizzas yet. You don't know which ones I want. He's like, no, they're on their way. The best pizza you've ever had. Classic George R.R.
Yeah, and he's talking about an analogy with the dragons are coming to Westeros, but they're not there.
Nobody knows.
They're not.
He's
All
like,
right.
they're there.
What's the next goddamn book, Cam?
We're up against it. We're gonna have to do
Yeah.
another commercial if we don't get into this. Sorry, to force this next section, but
So we had to flip a coin. We had a lot of good. Vito's making a look. It seems like the Cavs didn't make a good play.
Donnie's got 3 free throws. He missed the second one.
Damn.
okay, like
It's no problem. Okay, so we had to flip a coin for this next book. It came down to a lot of really good options.
it was between this and a Colleen Hoover.
And a Colleen Hoover.
I think we have Nicholas Sparks hot on our trail too.
Nicholas Sparks was in there. It didn't make the coin flip, but
Oh, in the
it's
chamber,
It,
yeah.
it's in the bracket to get
It's
there.
coming, ladies. Don't worry, or men. You know.
Anyway, we're gonna
Whatever
keep
you're into, we're not judging.
We're gonna keep it on a similar track to some of our previous books. All right, without further ado, what do we got? Hook Point.
I think that was
How to stand out in a 3-second world.
Seemed
I
like-
feel like that's perfect for us.
And that book was a little bit of a surprise to us all. It felt like there, you know?
And,
right?
And David, yes, 3 seconds is a long time.
Yeah, well, I knew that.
Yeah.
Donnie banged a 3.
With that being said, Donnie banged a 3. All right, thanks everybody. We're gonna go have a few more beers, which we need to talk about. Guess what I'm drinking? Midwest Red, baby.
And what are we sharing?
Have a good night, everybody.
We got 2 straws coming out.
Bye.
Bye.